Welcome to Birch Tree Studios, the home of 1013 Publications. This is 40 Below Zero, an international show about chronic illness hosted by two guys with MS. I'm your co-host Nick, and with me as always is Terry. We're so glad all of our warriors and supporters are here with us, so let's get into it. So what I really wanted to talk about today was a subject that comes up a lot, both in the MS world, but more broadly in the overall chronic illness space, which is the ideas of acceptance and giving up. So whether they're linked, all that kind of stuff, whether you are a failure if you accept or give up.
Yeah, that's a topic and a half. I was thinking about this topic, thinking about it. What is it when you isn't it when you accept your illness? Does that make you a failure?
I don't believe so. Here's what I think. I think acceptance is the idea that you say to yourself, there's nothing more that I can do. So once you get a diagnosis of any type, it's already done. So now you have to deal with it. So you have to accept the fact that you have to deal with it. Okay?
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, giving up is saying to yourself, there's nothing more that I want to do.
Yes, that sounds good. I mean, a lot of people think giving up is just not moving and staying home and being a hermit. I have no motivation to better yourself.
So now the question that I have for you, Terry, is it okay to give up? Now we know it's okay to accept, right? Everybody, it's part of it. You have to get to the acceptance part, but is it okay to give up?
Giving in or giving up?
Giving up.
I don't know what to say, man. I think giving in might be the same thing, but I don't think I think the word give up is such a negative, phrase to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Did you give up or did you give in? Dude, I accept this illness. I'm cool. I give in. I'll use the damn wheelchair if it makes it easier. Where there's some people like, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep going and walking and torture myself.
Exactly. I think there are scenarios in which giving up is okay, in the sense that you say to yourself, I'm not going to struggle anymore. I don't want to struggle anymore. So I'm going to give up fighting this piece of it. Doesn't mean you give up the overall fight.
Yeah, I hear you. It can be both ways, really.
Mm-hmm.
Giving in for your comfort. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is, as long as you're honest with yourself and you don't make excuses for it. So like, acceptance has a positive connotation. People, like you said, I accept this, and everyone goes, okay, he accepted it and he's dealing with it. But when we say give up, it has a negative to it, even though nothing gets, you stopped, like you said. So as long as you're honest and you don't make excuses and you just say, this is why I did what I did and I'm okay with it. You have to be okay either way.
What about when people come up to you and say, good on you for not giving up? How does that make you feel?
I think that's the expectation. Unfortunately, I think society has the expectation that you're not to give up. I mean, that's why we call each other warriors, right?
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where we can get into different levels of feeling like a failure, because sometimes we're just so tired that we don't want to fight. So we do give up. And just like you have to pick and choose your battles to fight, you also, I believe you also have to pick your battles to give up and to like you said, to give in.
I don't think we have a choice. You know, good on you for keep going.
Mm-hmm.
We really don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say. It's either drop dead or you keep going.
Yeah, I mean there'll definitely be consequences either way, both good and bad, depending on what decision you make. And it's a very personal decision to make. Do you give up for yourself? Do you accept for your family? Do you like it's just so complicated, but we try to boil it down to, oh, he gave up.
So if John gives up, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean he is at home depressed?
I don't
What?
know. So when I'm using my wheelchair,
Yeah.
I I made the decision to give up walking for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Now, does that make me a failure because I gave up walking for that
Okay.
day?
All right. So give up is not necessarily a negative thing.
Well, I think we think of it as permanent. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
you don't
Yes.
have to give up permanently.
You're onto something, buddy.
I think acceptance is a lot more final than giving up. I think once you've accepted something, I don't I don't usually go back on it.
I like that. You know, it's like with cigarettes, right? You give up, but you keep going until you accept not smoking.
Right.
I'm not a smoker. I'm just makes sense.
Mhm. Like you accept the diagnosis, but then what do you give up? You give up your old life? Well, we talk a lot about our old lives, what we used to do and how we used to be. So does giving up our old life make us a failure? I don't think so. I think it's a necessity and it's a choice you definitely have to make. And I made it because I'm not doing anything that I used to do pre-diagnosis. And I also don't feel like a failure because of it. At least not now.
So does giving up lead to grieving?
I
Giving up
believe so.
your old life and then you start grieving your old life
Mm-hmm.
because you've accepted that it's not going to get better?
Well, I think it's I wouldn't say get better. I would say I accepted that it's never gonna be the way it was because all the stability that I had with the careers that I was doing, that was irreversible. I could never go back to those jobs because those employers knew that they couldn't have me because of what I did. So
Yeah.
I've said 100 times, I became a liability. So do I think I failed in my careers? Well, at first I did. Um, I felt like a failure for the plan that I had, but you often bring up the ego.
Yeah.
And that's what I think doesn't allow you to get to a place where you can fully accept it until you get rid of that ego.
Yes. Yes. We're getting into a dark place now. But yes, exactly. My life could be a lot easier if I accept it 100%.
Mm-hmm. So
Mhm.
the two phrases are often used together. It's said like, "Oh, I accepted it, so I gave up." Well, not really. I don't think so. I don't look at it that way.
A lot of people tell me PSWs will help you. And I always say, I don't need them. I don't need them. Well, they'll help you get into the shower. I don't need them. Yeah, I don't need them. But man, sometimes, but how do you get someone here for 10 minutes to help you do something? Anyway, that's my issue.
Okay. Now, would you look at it as you accepted the fact that you need help for those 10 minutes, or would you look at it as I gave up on trying to do it myself?
Oh, wow, man.
That's the heart of the whole thing, is it depends on how a person approaches every single situation.
I might have to ask the next guest that same question. I get what you're saying. I know what everybody else is going to say. That's not a failure. You're not a failure. You're taking care of yourself, self-love, all that stuff. But your ego, man.
Mm-hmm. Very powerful. The idea of what you think you should be. And it never occurs to any one person that they could be wrong about how they see themselves. We never think, "Oh, I'm really not that way."
Elaborate.
Well, you're the only one inside your head.
Okay.
So you can never be wrong unless you question yourself. So if you never question yourself, you're either one, a psychopath, or two, you have a really good sense of self-esteem. But people who are way wrong never know they're way wrong because they don't believe they're wrong. So if you're the kind of person that tells yourself you're a failure all the time, you might be wrong. You probably are wrong. You just can't admit it.
Makes sense, man. Yeah.
You have to approach it as, first of all, you got to explain what a PSW is. I think that's a homemade.
Personal support worker.
Okay. All right. Okay. I get it.
I think every province has a different name for it too. So,
Gotcha. And if I ever go to a province, I'll let you know.
okay.
But then you have to ask yourself, isn't it their job to help you, even if it's for 10 minutes? So it's not like they're volunteering. They're getting paid. That's what they do. So if it's 10 minutes for you or it's an hour for you, then that's what they do. So I think it's more of are you to the point where you're okay with someone who is not an immediate family caregiver rendering care to you on any level like that? That's a question you got to ask.
I'm more comfortable with a stranger. You're
Okay.
paying a stranger. You don't have to burden one of your family members. So I think, my issue is I don't like I do have a routine, but my routine is my routine. And at any point I can do this, I can do that. Hey, I'm going to take a shower at 3 p.m., not 8 p.m. And the fact that having someone, I'm basically going on their routine. Yeah, I can schedule them for 4 p.m., but they never come on time. Maybe they
Right.
do. I'm closing off a certain time for them. I hate that. I hate that. What if something comes up and I can't take a shower at 4? And the lady is here to assist me in the shower.
Right.
And it's just so minuscule. Is that a right word to use? Minuscule.
There you go. Yep.
So minuscule. I don't need them, but
Right.
that one step would be amazing. What about in the summer to take me into the pool and but I would need some husky big guy or big girl to pick me out of the pool safely.
It's true. Well, think about this. If they do assist you in the pool, at least they get a day at the pool, and that's considered work for them. So, I could think of way worse jobs than helping you in and out of the pool.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah, I've just been thinking about those two things a lot recently because of honestly, because of the heat and because of the humidity and the fatigue and the cog fog and just just the symptoms hitting harder. I saw my neurologist about a week ago. And the crazy thing was when you go routinely to the doctor and then all of a sudden you're ordered a test out of that routine, my anxiety is like, way why? Like I'm not due to get an MRI until January, but I was just at the neurologist a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago. And he's like, okay, I want to order you an MRI. And I'm thinking, wait, that's way too that's too early. Too many months too early. Now I'm like, what does he know that I don't know?
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, I
You
get it.
know?
Yeah,
Like
don't analyze that shit.
I know. I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
And then I had a moment of acceptance where I was like, okay, if there is something new, it's not like this was going to stay stable forever. And then, of course, the longer I'm sitting alone, I'm like, all right, well, I'm done. It just spirals to oblivion.
Did you get your appointment yet? Or
I did. I'm a very good patient. I do all the things that doctors require. I get all my testing done
cool.
because I feel two things are important overall in my life. Talking is better than not talking, and knowing is better than not knowing, at least for me.
Yeah, me too. That's a good concept. Listen, is it did you really get did you really have a neurologist appointment last week?
Week or two, yeah, it was not too far long ago.
You do know I had mine last week too.
I know.
It's so funny. I didn't even realize that. We had ours really close together.
We're twins. It's almost like we have the same thing, Ter.
Nice. You're my best friend. I'm just anyway. Uh I went to my neurologist and you know what he said to me? My first of all, I've had MS for 14, 15 years. And he said, yeah, your brain looks like it should look like after 15 years of having MS.
Hey, there you go.
So I don't know what that means. But he says, hey, on the good notes, your vertebrate is intact.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I guess. He's like, your vertebrae is intact. And I'm like, okay, great. He's like, that's good news.
That is.
So I guess a lot of people have cut vertebrates, you know. Mine is
Well,
clean.
yeah, a lot of
Oh,
people have a lot of injuries with their spine, especially how things change over time when it comes to your body mechanics, especially if you go from somebody who's walking all the time to somebody who's not. You would know better than I,
hmm.
like, so to hear that your spine is good, that's good.
Yeah, I guess so. Cool.
One less
He's,
thing to worry about.
but he did say there is definite shrinking in your brain. And I was like, and of course I looked to Katrina and I'm like, don't laugh, that's not funny. You know, like but yeah, it's obviously because the more lesions you get, the more
Yep.
shrinkage.
Yeah, that's another overall truth that isn't really brought up a lot is we kind of fail to mention the fact that all of this stuff that we endure is because there's lesions and because the brain is shrinking faster than it should.
I was told that when you get older, it shrinks anyway, not because of whatever, but the fact that you get lesions a lot quicker.
Speeds it up. Yep. Yep. And that's what it is. Yes. And that's another really good point. There's a lot of things that occur to a lot of people with MS or other autoimmune diseases that would happen normally. But since you have a diagnosis, everything becomes about the MS.
You're right.
Like you can't sneeze without it being
Yeah. Yeah.
something to worry about.
It's like those two veins that everyone was talking about, and you'd have to get your Doppler test, the
Mm-hmm.
two veins right in the front of your neck.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone's like, oh, that's the reason of our MS. It's blockage. Then you'd go get stents to open the veins up. And I'm sure it helps a lot of people with different symptoms, but
I'm
it's
sure.
not specific to MS.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's the symptoms can be so vague. They just apply to a lot of things. If it wasn't for the actual imaging and the blood work, we'd be like WebMD running around here giving
Mm.
ourselves all sorts of things we don't have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's good that he said it looks like he expected it to.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad thing. It didn't, I know it sounds negative now, but he said 14 years, it looks like, it's not worse than what he thought it
Sure.
would be. And he did these weird tests, like spasticity tests. I don't know what they're called, where he does the rubber band effect with your hand.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
he just grabs my hand and he just makes it jump up. I don't know, not jump up. He just extends it, but really fast to see if I have some, what is it called? Pullback?
Yeah, he's measuring your reactions.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, it's funny when you start doing like the chicken, put your elbows out, push me, pull
yes.
me, like all the whole neurology workup.
Uh-huh.
But it all is very specific. It all measures very specific things. And
He writes down numbers. He writes, 1 to 5. So the next time he knows how to compare. I, uh, I was on the bed there that he was, you know, checking out my nerves, whatever, like to see if it's spasticity. Like he's doing the whole extended thing. And at one point I said, "Oh," and I sit right up, and he's like, "Oh, did I do something?" I'm like, "Nope, got to go to the washroom." And he was so cool, man, because he knows MS. He's like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, yeah, go, 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 go." And I didn't even put my socks on. And I'm like, I can't, you know? And I just rushed to the washroom. And then, as soon as I'm done, so relaxed. And I come out like, let's go. I go
yeah. Now you're
another,
ready.
yeah, my anxiety is just gone.
It's a very it's a very anxious thing, Terry. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm glad he gave you a clean-ish bill of health. As clean as it could be.
Yeah, he's setting me up for another MRI. And because the first one I was supposed to get contrast and they didn't give it to me. So I told my neurologist, hey, I asked for it. They didn't give it to me. He's like, it's fine. We'll just set you up with another MRI. I said, no problem. And I said, and this time I'm going to get the contrast. And he goes, well, it's not needed. The first one, second one, we'll know by then. You do the contrast only if it's one MRI so we can see the activity.
Do you tolerate the contrast well?
Bro, I think I've had it done once in the last
Really?
15 years and I'm a pansy. I'm like, nope, don't want it. I heard about the allergic reactions. Shit. So my doctor just says, okay, well, then we have to get you another one and another one. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. They don't cause cancer.
Mm-mm.
I'll take one a month, man. I'm okay with it.
I I usually get the contrast, and as long as they don't like force the contrast in, I'm good. If they slow down, otherwise I get super nauseous.
In there, in
Yeah, I have to sit up. Like it's not great. I don't mind the MRIs at all. They don't bother me.
me
I usually
too.
fall asleep.
What bothers me? It's when they say, uh, do you have spasms in your leg? Do you want us to rope them down, tie them
Uh,
down?
gotcha.
And I'm like, no, I don't need that. But because she said it, when I'm in the MRI, I'm like, oh my God, my feet are about to spaz. I feel like they're about to jump up. I overthink that shit. And not only that, but this nose here, big nose. The mask that comes up here, dude, it's like a millimeter away from my nose. I can not a good experience with that mask.
It's hilarious.
I just got to keep my eyes closed, honestly. I don't open my eyes once in that machine, but I'm fine.
I'm the same way.
Cool.
I'm the same way. Now you get the whole. How long are you in there?
Uh, the shortest one was 30 minutes. I'd be in an hour and a half. That's the
Okay.
longest one. I know someone's been 3 hours.
Yeah, that was me early on. They would do head to tip to tail, and they would 3.5 hours in there. Had that one a couple times.
An hour and a half seemed like 6 hours. So that's
Yeah.
crazy. Do you have music?
Yeah, it's usually jazz or classical.
So is it earbuds or do they play the music?
Headphones.
Okay.
Yeah, they have usually Spotify. Maybe I'll have them list. I'll put the show on next time I'm in there. Yes.
And not tell them it's you because they don't listen to it.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. Hmm. I'll put our show on next time I'm in the getting an
All right.
MRI.
We'll
I'll
see
let
what
you know.
happens. Yeah, that's
I,
funny.
I've That's crazy. I didn't even think of that.
I don't think they listen, man, unless they maybe the first 5 seconds to see what you're listening to.
I'll tell them to turn up the volume. I'll say you should hear this. This is a really good show. I
Just
know
say,
this guy. Oh, that would be insane.
that's funny. I think different hospitals do different things.
Hmm.
Music, no music.
Oh, I've been in some, man, I was in one and it was like I was in a washing machine. I swear I could feel the thing shaking.
Wow.
It was so, it was like not a well maintained facility, but that's where they sent me. And I really felt like it was shaking. And I was like, that can't be good if this machine is shaking. I'm sure it wasn't. It just felt that way.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. You know, Tanya, we interviewed her
Hmm.
probably fourth episode. Sorry, eighth episode, actually. Um, she orders specific MRIs. Kind of weird. And I've heard her say this. So when she gets an MRI, she requests the 1.5.
Huh.
I don't know exactly what she said, but I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, because that one's a little more rounder. And I'm like, what?
Oh, the machines. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I got you.
Do you really have a choice of what machine you want?
I don't. Now when it's all of the other type of machines, the CT machines, not the MRIs, all of those are open. So you just go through a ring, which I feel like I'm gonna fall over. I'd rather be in the tunnel.
So all my machines that I've ever been in, same thing. You go sit on that bed and
Hmm.
lie down, and then the bed goes in, right?
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
slide it in or whatever. First time I was in a waiting room and they brought out a bed to me and they're like, all right, go and sit, lie down. I lie down and they wheeled me all the way to the MRI room. Is that new to you? Because I've never been through that. And then after I was finished, they pulled me out and wheeled me all the way out. Like, when you do surgery, they wheel you to the recovery room. They wheeled me all the way back to where I got up and changed. And I've
Huh.
never been through that before. Usually it's right at the MRI. I get pushed in.
I have been. I've experienced both.
Oh,
But usually when I'm getting driven there, I don't. When I'm driven in the bed, it's because I was inpatient for a flare up, and
well,
that would
well,
make sense, right?
yeah, I was not.
Usually I usually just walk in with my cane
Yeah.
from the waiting room. But I go to a facility that's all they do, an imaging center. So they don't even tell you the results. And they always give me that look. Like the text, they always look at me like they're like, okay, so your doctor will be in touch in a couple of days with the results of the MRI. I was like, okay.
But
I'm
they don't know
like,
nothing. They
I
don't
know
see
they don't
anything.
know. Yeah, they don't know who I am or anything, but
Yeah, yeah.
they always give me that look like, holy moly, I don't want to react because this guy's got some spots on his brain.
Oh, you think they see on the spot?
Oh, they
Like,
do.
oh,
They can listen.
hold on.
MRI technicians who have been working these machines for any length of time, they might not know exactly what I have,
Yeah.
but they can see what I have and they know it's not good.
I thought it was like getting an X-ray anywhere, and then you wait for it to develop. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, it's no,
I
this
didn't,
is instant.
oh,
No, this
I never
the
even thought
compute
of that.
you can watch it happen live. The technicians look at it in real time to make sure that it's not a fuzzy image, that you're centered on the machine. Like they have things they got to look for. That's why
All
they
right.
come on and say, Terry, we're gonna have to do that one again. So just hang on there, try to hold still. Here we go again.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes. You're right.
that's how they know.
Yeah.
So, but
And
yeah,
don't,
they always give me that look.
and don't swallow.
Yeah. Try not to cough. If you have to sneeze, let me know.
That's funny. There was one time when I said, "Hi, can you guys hear me?" And they're like, "Yes, Terry, is everything okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, just making sure.
Yep.
Just wondering if they could hear you." It's funny.
But you're right. I also close my eyes in there. I
Yeah,
refuse to open them because I'm not claustrophobic in there. But if I keep my eyes open long enough, I
yeah.
probably would be.
Me too. I'm not claustrophobic, but I'm not testing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though they have that mirror that looks out somehow, like it's the
I
prism
don't
mirror
know
that,
what mirror looks anywhere, bro. I don't know what.
oh,
I never opened my eyes once,
oh wow.
and I go with the beat. Chicka, chicka, chicka.
Yeah.
Bah.
That's what puts me to sleep.
I nod off too, and I'm like, did I move when I slept? They would have said something, I think.
Yeah, that's what I say. How'd I do? And they go, "Oh, totally fine." I see you hear me snoring. They're like, "Yep, you were fine." I'm like, okay, as long as you knew I was asleep. Well, I asked them not to tell me when they're doing another test. They would come on and be like, they go, okay, Nick, this next test is gonna be about 3 minutes. You're doing great. Yeah.
Why do they do that? You're right, they do that.
Well, some people, well, I mean, when you're in there, it's easy to lose track of time.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea where you're at. You have no idea what time it is. And then some people freak out.
I was just talking to Teresa, one of the ladies in the group, and she was
Mhm.
talking about when they do that to her, she starts counting down like 1,000, 2, 1,000, all the way
See,
to that's
I can't
bad.
do that. I can't do that. So that's why I tell them, I said, don't talk to me until you're coming in to give me the contrast.
It's like the dentist, man, when they bring out the needle. Dude, the needle, the reason why everyone hates that needle is because it looks like this long. It's like good 6 inches to uh
Yeah, it looks a lot bigger than it's just going in your gums.
it's because yeah, it's just crazy.
Don't talk about the dentist, man.
All right, all right, all right, all right. I
Too
have
much.
to go see the dentist tomorrow again.
Whew, I got too
Cool.
much dental work coming up.
So you have a lot. Okay, we won't talk about it, man. We'll talk about it another time when I want to torture you.
We could talk about it. I just don't want to visualize. It's the fear of future pain is
Okay.
really what it is. It's not ever as bad as I think it is going to be,
Yeah.
but I have to keep psyching myself up. Like a lot of people, like, just get through the needles, just get through the needles. Cause after the needles, you can't feel anything. Just keep, you know what I mean? So
When's the last time you had the needle?
dental work
Yeah, like the needle.
last month, last month,
Okay.
I had 4 cavities done.
Does the guy try to numb it before putting the needle in?
They give you that thing. It's
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
cotton
yeah.
swab, but
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it works.
Whatever, man.
Well, if it does work, that needle would hurt like hell without that numbing cream. Like it hurts
It
so bad. I'm like, this thing will
almost
probably kill me.
probably a placebo effect.
Yeah,
This is
that's what I
gonna
mean.
numb you,
Yep.
you know.
Yep. That's a good idea. Yeah, I never thought
Yeah.
of that. Nah, great. Now, Terry, thanks. You just ruined
No,
now it's
man,
not going
that
to
shit
work.
works, bro.
Appreciate that. I love our chats here, buddy.
Yeah, man. Don't worry, man. Drink some water. You'll be fine.
You. It's probably what gave me the cavities.
What? The water or me?
No, the water.
Oh, okay. So I have a sorry, bring it up again, man. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow to check a nerve to see if the nerve is actually dead or not dead. I don't know what they're gonna do, but okay.
They're going to poke it with a very pointy stick, and they're going to say, "Did you feel that?"
Oh, Wednesday I have a neuro physiotherapist.
Oh, wow, that's very
A
specific.
neuro, yeah, yeah. I was like, I made an appointment and I'm gonna go see him tomorrow, 7 p.m. And yeah, they specialize in nerves, obviously.
Seriously, that's
So
great.
we'll see what they do different. Yeah, and I'll tell you about it.
Yeah. You're still with that gym, right? Still working out every now and again?
Yeah, oh yeah, I do it 3 days a week for sure. It's on Zoom, man. I do it virtually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I can't run away from it.
That's convenient.
And he's become a buddy, man. As you see, his hat's right here, Janax Fitness.
There
He's
you
become a
go.
real buddy, and yeah, I'm so fortunate, man. I met this guy. because I vibe with this guy like he's my brother. It's fucking amazing.
That's important.
In the beginning, I started working out and the face, the hard face, and I'd
Mhm.
be like, "Oh, someone's staring at me." You just put the pleasant face. But now with him, I just don't give a shit. I'm like, "You're killing me, man. This hurts," and I just
That's
push through
awesome.
it. Yeah, but it's only half an hour. Okay, it's not like I work out crazy, but I mean, the half an hour is great. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday,
Still.
just enough.
So our last guest sent me a link to adaptive rock climbing in my area.
Beautiful.
So, and there's an entire group of people. There's an entire, I don't want to say league, but organization where they do all sorts of a wheelchair and adaptive sports. So, guess what I'm going to start looking into? Because it's
Basketball.
pretty close. I think it's basketball. I think whatever they do, they just
Cool.
there's lots of sports. There's lots of options. So I'm gonna look into that pretty soon
Cool.
because that's really cool. So I'm gonna start with the adaptive rock climbing because it's been a very long time since I did that,
Well,
and I wasn't great at it, but I it's a lot easier for me to do upper body type activities now. Obviously, clearly.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I kind of want to get to that point where I'm the guy in the gym who can climb the rock wall while he's still in his wheelchair.
I've
I
seen
want to be
that
that
video.
guy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I want to be that guy.
yeah,
He's doing pull ups strapped to his chair. That's pretty
yeah.
intense.
That's pretty cool.
Because,
Well,
every able bodied person in there is going, God damn it.
yeah,
I can't even do 10 pull ups. This dude's doing 10 sets of 10 strapped to a chair.
yeah. That's not me.
Not me either, for the record. I want to be that guy
Me too,
because I think that's intense.
for sure. Well, thank you, Miranda,
Yeah,
for
thanks. Thanks for all that.
yeah. I'm doing the rock climbing with her on September 16th.
Who's videotaping?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Set up the camera.
I'm gonna ask her if because my legs, I have that pushing power.
Uh-huh.
I can, when I just jump and stand up. So I'm gonna see if when I climb the wall, can you take my foot and place it on a peg? Is it called pegs? I guess I don't
I
know.
don't dude, you're asking me like I know.
And then I can maybe push. So I'm gonna try to do that next time.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
What would be crazy is if there was adapted shoes where there was like a pegboard and you could just peg yourself, you just walk up,
Yeah,
you know, that would be cool.
dude, you just thought of something. I know exactly
Oh,
what you're talking about. Yes,
$1 million idea, patent pending.
I
No, if
think
anybody invents it, cut me in for 10%.
Miranda probably already patented.
Probably.
Yeah, man. So our next guest on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
John Wood,
Mr. John Wood,
Mr. John Wood.
author. And it's going to be really cool to chat with him because I have no idea what a person with spina bifida goes through in their daily. I have no clue. So I'm very curious and intrigued, as you and I both are with all our guests. That's why we have them on, because we want to hear what they're up to
For
and how they
sure.
live their life.
I think his Instagram account is Author on Wheels.
Yes, I believe that's it. Author on Wheels. Yep.
Cool. Can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Cool.
What else you got going on? Anything?
I got nothing. I
No?
got nothing. Yeah, I'm just my dentist, my neurologist, and oh, absolutely nothing.
No? Nothing at
No,
all, huh?
nothing at all. I'm most happiest when I have nothing on my agenda, man.
That is a statement of a lifetime, sir. I think a lot of people feel exactly the same way. I feel very peaceful when there is not a whole host of adult things to accomplish.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Except for this. This is effortless. This is my therapy time.
True, true.
Yeah.
Especially when we start talking about stuff like we did at the beginning here.
Yeah. 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 It actually makes me feel better because you've made me realize like giving up isn't a bad thing.
Not always.
You give it up to make this easier. Or anyway, next topic. We already dwelling into this.
Well, I know it's been a little last minute. Things have been pretty chaotic because I had a lot of stuff going on personally, like moving my daughter back up to college. Man, she was ready too. Whew. But that's great. She's excited about school again, or at
Yeah.
least excited about it starting again.
So when do you see her next?
Parents' weekend is the end of October, but her birthday is the beginning of October, so we might go up twice that month. I don't know. We'll have to work it out. It's not like she's not crazy far away, but it's not right around the corner either. So if we want to do something for her birthday, we'll probably spend the night in town, something like that. I don't know. So
She's a
about a month or
Libra.
so.
She's a Libra.
She is. Yep, she is.
Libras are the absolute best.
Are they now?
Yeah, statistically speaking, man, it's not from me.
Well, I am a science. I believe in science, and according to science, Geminis are the best. That's the pinnacle. You can't get any better. That's just science.
I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
Uh,
Well, I'm glad that's done with. A friend of mine wants me to go to his office because they gotta make it completely accessible.
really?
So he's asking me, can you come? But he's making it accessible not just for wheelchair users, for the blind, the deaf. It's government issued.
Okay.
So he wants me to come in so I can give him my thoughts. And I'm a little concerned because am I going to go to a place that's completely not accessible? And I'm going to be like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this. And by the way, I can't even use your washroom right now.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah,
So,
I think, have you known this person for a while?
sort of. He's my neighbor.
Okay. Well, listen, it's just because he is comfortable with you and values your opinion. So I think it's a good thing. I wish more spaces would reach out, extend the offer, and say, "Hey, please let me know how we can improve our office or our space or whatever." Because there's a lot that's not
You're right. You're right. And it's cool that he's asking someone in a wheelchair. My
right.
dentist office, my story once was, hey, we did renovations. Did you check out the washroom? And then I'd be like, oh, I don't need to right now. I will later. And then my dentist, after procedure, is like, do you got to go check out the washroom? I'm like, all right, man, let's go check out your handicap washroom, how special it is now. I go in there, they have the button, they have the grab bar, everything's perfect. You know what I did notice, and you would not notice unless you're in a chair?
Hmm.
When I wash my hands in the accessible sink, paper towel, want to throw out the paper towel, it's in a garbage where I have to push because it's a foot.
Ah, it's got a foot.
Yeah, so I can't throw the garbage unless I just toss it on the floor.
Wow.
So, and I don't want to be that guy. So he's like, how is it? I'm like, dude, I love it. Everything is perfect. There's one thing, but everything is perfect. It's not even a big deal. And then I told him, and of course he slaps his head. He's, oh my God, I didn't even realize that. I'm like, nobody would unless you're in a chair. And I wouldn't even notice it unless I go through it. So that's funny.
I think you need to put together an organization of people who use chairs and mobility aids and go to these places and like, oh, we're here for an inspection. And they're like,
Consultations. Yeah.
yep. You're like, who are you guys? Oh, we just go around looking at bathrooms, seeing where we can go.
We're building a new app. There is an
Well,
app out there, isn't there?
yeah, there is an
Whatever.
app. It's not, I had it for a while. It's not very accurate because honestly, because more people need to contribute to it. Like it's the kind of app where it's like you have to upload, your experience.
Have you heard of
I'll,
Waze?
yeah.
It's crowdfunding, isn't it? Like crowd, whatever you call it, not
Yeah.
crowdfunding, but
Crowdsourcing. Yeah.
crowdsourcing. It's the same thing, but there's not enough wheelchair users in certain areas.
Right.
Maybe New York will have a cool app. Maybe somewhere that's heavily
I'll,
ingested with wheelchair users like California.
I'll tell you what, I will re-download the app I have and I will tell you my experience with it and I will become a contributor and I'll let you know how easy it is to contribute so that you can go on and have a grand old time punching in all the details because I know you're a big bathroom aficionado. Like you know a lot about
Yo,
bathrooms.
man, I don't have bathroom issues. I got no issues. Just joking. I peed myself 3 times since sitting here. I'm joking, man.
I believe that.
I got no shame, man. A little bit of an ego, but no shame. So how's Philadelphia these days?
Uh pretty haven't been there. I don't know. I try to avoid it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Yeah.
yo.
uh we have a we have that new guest that we're gonna have in September. He's from Philly.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What's his name? Who are we talking about?
Joey. Joey, Devin. I just reached out to him.
Okay.
He's super hyped too. He just put it on his story. He's like, gonna be on a podcast.
Oh, Joey, my buddy from Instagram.
There you go.
Oh my God, you said that. Yes, my bad. Ah, man, I had a brain fart. I'm like, you're bringing in a guy named Joey? Yes, dude, I saw that he was from Philadelphia yesterday, and
Yep.
I'm like, oh shit, I can't wait to tell him that
Yep.
he's probably his neighbor.
So I like all his stuff. Nah, we're not even close. But we could meet up. Like we're close enough that we can meet up.
Yeah.
But I like all his stuff because he's always putting up Eagles stuff and Philly stuff. So yeah.
I think I don't know if it shows that he's a comedian.
No,
Dude,
it doesn't, is he?
so let me tell you. I hope he doesn't hate me for this. I've been following that guy for a good 3 years, 3.5 years. I think he's been following me too for 2.5, 3 years, something like that. He
Hmm.
had another account. And I used to, this guy used to put up funny shit. And I'm like, yo, this guy's funny. And I gravitated towards him. Never really talked to him, just, and I think he disappeared. I might have kind of fell off Instagram for a bit. I came back on and I saw him again. I'm like, is this a new account? Started following it again. And he's more of a healer, I think. I forget
I
exactly.
see that. He has a lot of like right up our alley. Like we had just talked about all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I see what he puts up, and it's very like your chakras and your auras and your all
Yeah.
that kind of new age faith healing stuff. I just joined a group near me, and that's all they do. That's all
Cool.
they talk about, and I will have more to talk about very soon on that
Okay.
and my experiences because there's a lot of people who are closed minded when it comes to belief systems, and they're like, this is the only belief system, or yours is not right because that is just ridiculous thinking. They people like to judge other people's visions of the universe and the world and how we came to be and where we're heading and all that stuff. And the one thing everybody really forgets is that we all just don't know. So like it just because you read one book over the other or one manuscript over the other, it doesn't necessarily mean that anybody's got it right.
Yeah,
Uh, there,
exactly.
there's universal truths like you should just be a nice person, like that kind of stuff. But I hate when people just shut down. I hate it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. I don't even talk about people's beliefs because you believe whatever you want. It doesn't
Right.
affect me, right? As long as you don't push it on me.
Oh, that's even worse. So it'll be interesting to see what these folks have to say because I'm very open to hearing and, you know,
Yeah.
I'm curious,
Yeah.
just curious. Who knows who I'll meet while I'm there? 'There. That's why I go.
When I went to the Middle East, there was a guy, I told you, I'm pretty sure everyone knows already, I'm Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a guy there, of course, Middle East and Jordan being predominantly Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of my cousin's wanted to pray for me in his Islamic way. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm not like, nah, man, I don't, whatever the hell, I don't care. Yeah, of course. And it was more of a meditation.
And
So it was peaceful anyway. Yeah.
why would you deny somebody the opportunity to pass on a good feeling to you?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people that'll be
Oh,
offended.
I'm sure too.
Yeah.
But again, nobody has the right answer until we all have the proof.
Mhm.
So keep an open mind, everybody.
Yep.
All right, buddy.
Mhm.
It was good hanging out and catching up with you.
Yeah, for sure, man. We will
And
talk soon.
yeah, we will. Talk soon.
Cool, man. So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4 T below zero.com. Or feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. Our personal Instagram account are, for Nix, it's Nix_V713. Or for Terry, it's What's_MS. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk soon.